Welcome, Commanders, to Starfleet Academy for Star Trek Fleet Command. I am your instructor, Captain Pike, and today we will be discussing Hugh. Hugh was introduced into Star Trek Fleet Command with the January 2023 arc Assimilation Part 1. On release day, he had a free-to-play path to obtain. We will discuss the ways you can acquire Hugh later in this video. But first, let's take a look and see who Hugh really is. Hugh is an epic officer and is a member of the Unimatrix 12 group in-game. He will provide synergy to any member of this group at varying levels based on division uniqueness. Hugh's race is Borg by Assimilation, and his officer division is Engineering. Hugh has no officer ability as he is deemed unfit to lead by Scopely. I feel this is a bit outside of canon though, as he becomes a leader for the displaced Borg, and Scopely mentions this in his description fluff. It would have been nice to see him have some sort of captain ability that boosted only Borg officers. Hugh's officer ability is Free the Collective. With this ability, Hugh increases the impulse speed of your ship by 5%, up to 15% when maxed. At 15%, this is about the same synergy as Pan gets from his group, so not much help there. He may be good on an amalgam or a rating survey ship, if you need a little more speed, but 5% is not going to be much of a boost. Hugh's below deck ability is Resist and Retaliate. This gives Hugh a 45% chance to increase critical chance by 25% for 2 rounds after being hit by a hostile. This ability can stack. Weapons with multiple shots will only trigger their ability once. That 45% chance to increase critical hit chance goes up to 100% at Commander 5. So this guarantees a 100% chance to increase your critical chance by 25% when he's maxed out. This is where Hugh really shines, even at Ensign 1. Any hostile with multiple shots is going to increase your odds for him to activate, and when he does, each activation will stack. If Hugh activates every round, it would look something like this. As you can see by the chart, he'll max out at 50% critical chance, so at max level, where he's 100% chance to activate, he's going to be very dependable. Take note of the following. He only works on hostiles. His ability does not trigger against armadas or mission bosses, the yellow targets. Hugh will, however, stack with any other crew that will increase your critical percent chance against hostiles, like Khan, Obix, and Data. This makes Hugh a great below-the-decks crew member for your hostile grinding. Taking a look at Hugh's traits, they are Assimilated, Survivor, and Leader. His leader trait seems to contradict his unfit to lead captain ability. I personally am not as interested in his away team traits, as I most likely will be keeping him below the decks on my hostile grinding ship. So let's go ahead and put Hugh to work. In this section, I'm going to focus on Hugh's below the deck ability, Resist and Retaliate. Remember, at Ensign 1, he has a 45% chance to increase the critical hit chance by 25% for 2 rounds, after being hit by a hostile. I had a mission boss in my local system, so I wanted to show how Hugh would not work against the mission boss. So I crewed my pylum up for anti-battleship, and I sent him after this mission boss here, which is the combat training boss. I enjoy the combat sequences, so what I'm going to go ahead and do here is let it play through, but I'm going to give it a little speed boost, and we'll watch as we go in, and then I'll slow it back down when we get to the battle log. As you can see here, I had no problem defeating that mission boss. I should have no problem defeating that mission boss. And we'll scroll through real quick here. You see that several shots were fired off. We definitely should have had a proc from Hugh if he was going to trip. And as we get to the end of the battle log here, it's pretty obvious that Hugh did not proc as intended. Now, I could run a bunch of tests with my Pylum and Coronar, but what's the fun in that, right? Not all of us have those ships. So there was a Parabellum event going on, and I thought I'd have some fun and try my auger with Hugh below the decks to see if I got any benefit from him. Let's see what happens. With the magic of video, we insta-warp into the system. And the auger did very well. Not sure how well Hugh fired, but the auger did pretty good. So let's hop into the battle log real quick and see what happened here. We went 28 rounds, which is probably going to be less than we did without Hugh. And as you can see, Hugh did trip right off that first hit, which is pretty nice, and the second hit. So that's not too bad for a 45% chance. This tells me that you could probably run Hugh with any hostile and not have to worry about how many shots that hostile fires. I'm gonna speed this video up. We're gonna finish the hull off on the auger, and then we'll run the auger without Hugh to see what kind of results we get. The auger is still one of my favorite ships, and when I was in the high 30s, low 40s, it was one of my best capital system grinders. Alrighty, we finished off the hull, so let's see how well it did. And looking at the list of battle logs here, we survived 6 hostiles and died on the 7th. So not too bad. So let's crew up our auger for no Hugh, and we'll see how it does. I will probably express this video too, and then slow it down when we get to the end of the battle logs. I should probably rethink my crew because I'm not losing full shield health, so they're not all working the way that they're supposed to. But we're still running the same bridge crew, so we should have the same results, less Hugh. But initially here it does look like the auger is taking more damage for each attack. I know we were kicking through those logs pretty quick that I was checking the status too, but if you didn't notice, we were going about 38 rounds against the heavy cap traders. And that finishes off the auger's hull, so let's head over to the logs and see how it did. Alrighty, and right off there's definitely a difference. It looks like we went through 5 traders and died on the 6th. So 1 less, not a major difference, but at G3 and capital traders, that's a pretty big deal. I did similar runs with my Enterprise and my D4. Both of them are also maxed, and I had pretty much the same results. I was getting about 1 less hostile without Hugh. While doing daily missions, I noticed significant improvement in the Swarm Grind against Borg probes, scouts, and Jem'Hadar. There was also a significant improvement in my G5 hostiles, where I was almost doubling the number of hostiles I was able to kill. So how do we obtain Hugh? His shards were the easiest to try and obtain during the Assimilation arc, Part 1. But now that that's over, where are his shards? You won't find Hugh shards in the normal location. It's not available through any of the options in the recruit section of the game, and there is no Borg faction where you convert some currency toward shards like there are for augments, rogues, and Bajoran factions. To find Hugh shards, you'll need to open the refinery and go to the Borg text section. You'll then need to use your Borg Solo Armada credits through the Solo Exchange. This will give you a lottery chance to obtain Hugh shards. This is very similar to exchange and recruit tokens for crews in the recruit section of the store, so there's going to be RNG to deal with to get his shards. This means you'll need to fully engage in the Borg Solo Armadas or BSA loop to obtain him. Check out our Borg Solo Armadas video for more details on how to engage in this loop. I am sure you will see him in upcoming events and various rewards or exchanges, accelerating the acquisition of Hugh shards. We hope you find our crew analysis of Hugh helpful. Come visit us at our website and join us for further discussion on our Discord server linked in the video description. We hope we earned your thumbs up on the video and your subscription, and as always, we appreciate your sharing and comments. Live long and prosper, Commander. We hope to see you at Starfleet Academy.